Here we are, Rimshots with Sean. As promised, I'm here with Paul Pontoona from the fabulous Pontoona brothers. We're going to talk all things Kiss. Your mind is going to be blown. Thank you for doing this, my friend.
It's my pleasure, Sean.
So you've had this going for quite some time.
This has been a lifelong journey for me. I say I got my first Kiss collection item when I was 7 years old, when Ivor Jones and his friends played a Kiss mimic band, air guitars, at my elementary school. I was in the summer of grade 3, and thank you, this is what it led to.
So what you're going to see here as we do this walkthrough, I mean, it's incredible. It's like the Smithsonian Institute. We're going to do our best to get everything in, but we probably won't. I want to start over here, and why don't you come over, follow me here. There's just so many things. Just a couple of tales or stuff. You've got everything, man. You've got from the start, from the middle, from the end, from, you know.
Well, this particular corner is, I was fortunate enough to go on 10 of the 12 Kiss cruises.
Wow.
And this is sort of a list or a conglomeration of memories that came from the result of those cruises. A lot of these things were gifts that the band gave to the attendees. Some of them, as you see, there's an artist performance badge. I was lucky enough to be picked to play live on the cruise. And this is one of the favorite things. If you look here, the amazing thing about the Kiss community is, it says this is cruising in each other's hearts, Mark and Kim. This was a wedding gift from Kiss cruisers that we met. Hi, Jim and Cheryl from Pennsylvania, who came to our wedding, and this was their wedding gift to us. So the Kiss world and community is absolutely amazing.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I had the opportunity to play at your wedding.
That's correct, you did.
And hard to believe, 2019, it seems like it was yesterday. People from all over the world were there.
Yeah.
Right? You mentioned South Africa.
South Africa, London, England.
Right.
Rochester, New York, Pennsylvania, etc. And this is all people that we met through the Kiss community that made their way up here.
And what we're going to do for probably most of this is you're not going to see Apollo and I much, because there's just so much stuff we want you guys to see. We're not going to give you his address either, because we don't want anybody breaking into your house.
In a heavily fortified and video watched house.
So how do you get a line of some of this stuff? I mean, some of it's just such oddball and unique. Like, how do you...
So the story for me really did start when I was 7 years old. And then on my 8th birthday, I got my first album, my first poster, my first t-shirt, and my first 45.
Wow.
And that was the beginning of what has led to now, you know, a 50-plus year, or a nearly 50 year of collecting for me. And so in some cases, you know, including myself, people come and go with their desire. You know, when I was 15 years old, I made the decision I'm only going to collect Kiss memorabilia. I didn't want to worry about any other band. And then, it, you know, really took off for a few years.
Sure.
And that's the result of what you see here. So I would say I got really serious about collecting probably 20 years ago.
Some of the stuff on this shelf that, I mean, there's so many things that are just, you know, the potato heads, the pop socket guys, all these things. This is one here that you had told us a story about. You got a shot on it of a fellow that you were a roommate with on one of the Kiss cruises.
That's right, Ron Kenfield from Rochester, New York. This was a piece that I got from him. Sometimes, you know, you buy and you collect different pieces, and some stuff comes and goes in my collection as well, but I really like that one. And yeah, it's cool. It's a cool item. Thank you, Ron.
So pan over here just for a second. When we came in, we walk in, you have your two drum kits set up. You have the fabulous Pontoona's kit, you have the Peter Criss kit. I actually had the opportunity to play this set of drums, beautiful set of drums. We did that show at Monty's that time.
That's right.
You have this sign behind here that you guys made.
We had that made by a guy named Chris Penny. As you can see, there's some lights out. Chris, we need you over to fix that.
Fix the Kiss sign, Chris, we need you, bud.
But yeah, we used that for a show in Newfoundland, and it wasn't practical. This was when I was performing with Atlantic Canada's hottest tribute to Kiss, called Dress to Kill. That's Dress to Kill with the number 2. And so yeah, this was some of the, you know, tip of the hat to Peter Criss. It's a rough setup of his 74 Ludwig kit, but with a couple of add-ons. However, it's done in pearl, and which Peter was a Pearl endorser for many years.
Absolutely.
The Peter Chris cats that are behind me there, they were a 50th birthday present painted by a local artist and the front man of Dress to Kill, Paul Stanley Stevens. That was my 50th birthday present, and that actually was temporarily misplaced for about 6 months until it was returned to the band after being moved out of show.
So one of the things I'm down here, Gene Simmons, you always heard, I don't want to be a rock and roll band, I want to be a rock and roll brand. And you sit there and you go, okay, how much merch can these guys possibly have? Then I see this and I'm going like, oh my God.
Well,
like, right?
This is what's interesting about this collection or anybody's Kiss collection that you go into. No matter how large it is, you're going to have stuff they don't have, and they're going to have stuff you don't have.
Incredible.
And it doesn't matter if your collection is, 5 things on a shelf, it's still a badass, cool collection, regardless of the size. Although, when I go around this room, I understand how impressive it can be to somebody who just comes in and sees it for the first time. But the reality is that most of the people that do see this room are avid Kiss collectors themselves. And if you look at where I rank amongst them, I'm the low man on the totem pole.
Well, I poke at it with a stick though compared to you. And I'm going to tell you something. So we're going to get ready to take our first break here. I am often accused of having too much Kiss at my feet by certain people.
Oh, right.
I dare somebody, honestly, to come down here and question my voice and means after you see this. We're going to take our first break in Eastlink Community TV after this. So now we have some cool things here. I'm going to guess this is a Paul Stanley guitar, obviously. Talk about these a little bit.
Yeah, so we have Gene Simmons Punisher, a Paul Stanley Silvertone, crack mirror, Les Paul, Ace Frehley model, and Gene Simmons Axe bass. Now, the great thing about Kiss is they'll usually release 5 or 6 different versions of things.
Right.
From inexpensive and affordable up until the, stage used ludicrous costs. These are the lower end of the collectibles,
right.
But you can't argue how cool they look in this room.
They look amazing.
This is what I'm saying is you have an opportunity, no matter what your Kiss collectible is, you can make it cool.
Well, and it's a good point. And I saw a thing, I think it was last year, Paul Stanley was doing the thing where you could pay $15,000 to get, and he comes in the room, signs the thing, doesn't say a word to the dude, takes a picture, and so you didn't have to spend $15,000 to get this.
No, not at all.
Right?
Yeah,
and it still looks amazing.
I think they look great.
So we're looking at some very cool, this is like, I'm going to call this 77-ish quarter.
Classic 1970s, some of the toys and the belt buckles, the van, the puzzles, the original comic book, the lunch boxes, and different patches and pins that were available, the collectible cards from the early 70s right up to the recent
And
ones.
may I want to get a shameless plug in here.
Yeah, just keep your finger where that is there, yeah. There we go.
So that's the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers Ale. So we'll get into in the last segment about what you were doing and what you're doing now. But
Beautiful.
If there's not something as cool as that, that's going to go right back into its safe place. When you're setting this up and putting it together, are you just chucking it in spaces, or is there a thought process behind where you're
No,
putting it?
I really did a thought process. It starts upstairs at around 1975.
Yeah.
Comes down, and everything, like I say, in this room is mostly 70s or 70s related, even though it was possibly released a little later than that. So I really wanted to keep that theme in this room, and then as you transition over here, then it gets into, beyond the original lineup. And in some cases, you'll see like I have areas set up to particular albums or whatever. Could I do a better job of it? Absolutely. Did this take me a long time to do as it is? It sure did.
I don't know that you could do a better job, because I mean, when I'm looking at this, and like I could spend all day down here, and there's so many things I really like. When we made the joke earlier about the Smithsonian, I couldn't spend a week here and figure it all out. Like it's incredible the way you get it laid out. The thing that it's so well taken care of, which is beautiful. You've done a fantastic job.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I have.
What's the story behind this doll down here? I've never seen that before.
So this is there's 2 series of these, the Love Gun and Destroyer series, both, where they have 4 members. This is the only one I actually had, and it's the second Paul Stanley one I had. I gave the first one as a birthday present to former Paul Stanley and replaced it. So if anybody has those others and they would like to send them my way at a very low cost price, I'm still looking.
Sure. Always be closing. Always be closing.
Yeah.
Over here. So say what you want about Gene Simmons. He knows how to market. He's one of the most recognized figures in rock and roll. These are guitar cases. Talk to us about this pool table.
This is an idea I've had for a long, long time, that I wanted to have a pool table that was customized with KISS. And I found a company out of Ontario that painted this for me. And I had a local guy named Dale Brinco, who's a local pool shark, that installed it for us. And I couldn't be happier to own this one-of-a-kind collectible.
It looks very cool, and the boys, they come down here and they put their makeup on and play pool, which is kind of cool. So.
You know what, the thing about this is it would be very easy to protect it and say you can't touch it, but so many years of my life, this KISS memorabilia was locked away, that I wanted out to enjoy, and anybody can play anything they want here anytime. In fact, I'm going to let you do something if you want. There's unopened Viewmasters and there's unopened bubblegum cards. You can, if you choose, open a pack.
Well, we might open a packet for it ended. I almost feel like I shouldn't do it. Like a big KISS sign's gonna fall on my head if I do something like that. But we're going to break for our last segment. But before we do, this part here. What roughly? How long has it taken you to put this together?
To set it up in this room?
Just in this segment right here.
I spent about 3 months putting this room together. Because you have to understand, this stuff was stored in so many different locations. First I had to get it all, then I had to open it all up, then I had to organize it, then I had to figure out where it was going to go and fit. And there's still, under this pool table, there's a lot of memorabilia. There's a couple of bedrooms back there that are still full of unpacked memorabilia. So this isn't all of it yet.
Jeff and I, Jeff will be in our next segment. We had a conversation on the way over, and he said, "Are you a KISS fan like that?" I said, "Nobody's a rabid KISS fan like that." I said, "Forget it if you think you are." We're going to take a break. We'll be back on Eastlink TV after this. Well, welcome back to Rimshots with Sean here at Eastlink TV. My good friend, the handsome Jeff McPherson, playing the KISS pinball machine, the legendary KISS pinball machine. I really feel, and maybe we'll have this conversation, she needs to put a turnstile at the back door and maybe do something to raise money for a charity or something like this and do a walkthrough, because this is incredible. We are here at the Apollo Pontoona KISS Museum. And we're gonna get, we got a little surprise for you. Gentlemen, so we got Apollo Pontoona here. We got a special guest. Number 2 on the scorecard, but number 1 in your heart. Mr. Tim Deal, how you doing, my friend?
Good.
So Tim, you may recognize Tim, local musician here in Halifax. He's played with Just Alice, correct? Was it Just Alice or
My other brother Alice.
my other brother Alice? Sorry, Just Alice from Ontario. And he is now, we got to cover the face. He is now the new demon in Dress to Kill. So how's that been going for you?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's been surprising in a lot of ways. It's been fun.
We were at one of the first nights. We felt bad for you because there part of your costume fell off, and you just took it, man.
Part B in half. Yeah.
Well, but you know what? You finished the set, and it was amazing. So, what's been the most difficult part of that for you?
Singing.
Right.
Playing bass at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot of counterpoint and things that don't kind of jive together, but it hasn't been too difficult because I've been listening to music forever.
Yeah.
KISS is the band that made me want to be a musician in the first place, so it wasn't much of a stretch to, it wasn't hard to get in there with the guys and rattle off like 28 songs. I think the first time we got together we played 28 songs. And those guys are like, we could have done a show tonight, man.
Well, so here's something you bring up that's really funny. So you get 3 guys here, and maybe Jeff a little bit, but Jeff's a little bit more of a 60s Stones guy. I mean, we're probably 3 guys that grew up being made fun of because we like KISS. People telling us, they're not real musicians, they're not a real band. And again, you walk through this and it's like, real musicians or not, man, this is probably one of the coolest bands you've ever seen in your life, just for all this stuff alone, right?
The 4 guys in KISS were the perfect musicians to be KISS. They're the right guys.
Bam.
You know?
Yeah, 100%.
They changed show business forever. They changed live performance, stages, lighting, sound and vision, changed forever.
I couldn't have put that any better myself because I think some people overlook that part. So, Apollo, talk about the pinball machine. Where did you find this?
I was lucky enough that Paul Stevens, again from Dress to Kill, knew a guy who had it, and I had the opportunity to pick this up about 16 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, this is, for a lot of KISS fans, this is the holy grail. Mine is in, pretty beat up shape, but I love the fact that I have it, and it doesn't matter to me what shape it's in. In fact, a lot of my KISS memorabilia is a bit beat up because that was all I could get at the time, and that was all that was available at the time. And I love those pieces just as much as I do the pristine stuff in the box.
Nothing with wrong with a little bit of sandpaper to it, right? I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, I think about all the stuff that I had growing up that went on my wall that's gone. I just don't have it anymore, right? The solo album posters and the Kiss Love Gun, you would remember that. And,
Well, here's two rare things. So the solo album covers, this is an uncut original of the solo album covers. And then this solo album Mirror, I'm led to believe that there were 60 of these made, and they were given to the Casablanca record executive.
Wow.
Now, that was in 1978. You can imagine how many of 60 mirrors survived. The last one I know of sold for $5,500 US, and the guy was thrilled to get it for that. And Sebastian Bach has one as well, and that was one of the things that survived his hurricane.
It's fun, yeah. And he hasn't smashed it yet, so that's fantastic too.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it up, Sebastian. The one thing that, again, that I'm sitting here and I'm looking at all this stuff, the collector world, like the people that are collectors.
Yeah.
Are you guys a bit of a brother? Like, you hang out, you communicate, you help each other find things?
I think it's one of the tightest communities out there as far as collectors go, as far as camaraderie goes, as far as celebrating the band. There's some people that are, original versus the follow-up lineups. But all in all, I think it's just a dream community to be part of. Yeah. Been nothing but positive experience.
So I can't believe this episode of Eastlink TV has gone so quickly. We have a surprise. You kind of knew about it because you asked for it, you requested it. But Jeff McPherson and Jerry, why don't you come in here too? So, no strangers to the Barstools world. Two of the most creative people we know. Jerry actually made that, right? She made that. I don't even have one. But they are super creative, and I'm gonna get Apollo in the shot here because they made something for him. They're about to present it to him.
Beautiful.
And anybody that's grew up in this town is gonna really be excited about it.
I do know what this is. I'm very excited to see it. This represents 6 of the best years of my life. I walked out of the Huey Lewis concert and was walking down the street when I was 16 years old, and I stopped to listen to, it was Sharon B and the Brutal Beats who were playing that night. Hello, Sharon Burry. And I walked in and I got into that bar for the first time, 16 years old, with a fake liquor ID my mother helped me make.
Wow.
Thank you, Mom.
Was it the Barrington Street one?
No, it was Barrington Street. I'm a little bit younger than you, Jeffrey.
Okay.
And that night started 6 years of my life, where at least 5 nights a week I was at the Misty Moon for 6 years. That's a true story.
Oh well, my career basically was created there.
Beautiful. Look at this, Jerry. This is fabulous. Yeah,
That's something?
Great.
Metallic gold. So
If you know, you know. If you don't know, man, you should have been there.
Missed a lot.
So
we got that from a newspaper.
Beautiful.
I want to end this segment with this. So,
Thank you.
so Apollo Pontoona, the fabulous Pontoona Brothers, it's not a new band. You guys have been going for a bit. I want to give you personally a little shout out. I'll tell you what. So he's a guy who I think you'll admit you work very hard at playing drums.
I hope so.
You've never ever, as far as I've ever been told, have ever thrown down and crapped on anybody and said they're not. You're one of the few guys that everything gets back to me. You just all know that. Somebody says something about me, it gets back to me. This man, I've never heard utter a bad word about anybody. He works his tail off to improve. And he has taken a cool thing and gone from a KISS tribute band to this new thing. So congratulations on you, my friend. And won't be the last to see this place. I hope you guys had a great time. I certainly did. I got a couple things in my car that he didn't know that we stole on the thing. But if you like us, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Eastlink Community TV. Don't forget, after Friday Night Hockey.
Hey.